at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I want to visit that stadium. They got a nice scoreboard. Do you see that rooftop that they have?
How about the Falcon structure?
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's like a shiny Falcon structure thing. I don't even know how I would describe it.
And then inside, Vegas has this too, Legion Stadium. They have all the helmets of all the high school teams in the state. They honor the state champions up there. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And it's cheap. The menu's cheap. Like, you go to Levi Stadium, you may spend $7 for a hot dog. Down in Atlanta, it's like $3. Not bad. Not bad. Family friendly.
Bonte, cost of living is a little more expensive up here.
It is. It is.
Not sure if you're aware.
Trust me, I'm aware. I'm aware. By the way, download the Odyssey app, not 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations, and millions of podcasts are free. Free. Sports talk, music, news, and podcasts are all available completely free. You can catch every Warriors game live on the Odyssey app, along with all the music and news the Bay Area needs. Follow your favorite team stations, radio shows, and podcasts now by downloading the free Odyssey app. I see some calls. I don't know the names. I had the names not out there. We'll get to the calls in just a second. Dirty Birds, Niners. Big memories there. Big memories. Pick at the stick. 17-0 NFC Championship. A lot of history.
It really is a lot of sneaky history.
The Hail Mary for Atlanta's got to be up there.
For them?
They've had 2 Hail Marys against the Niners.
Yeah. How about there's a couple of famous rollouts from Montana at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium where they're wearing the white jerseys. I believe he had 4 touchdowns and 300 yards in 1990 against them. Steve Young, I believe, threw one off of someone's back and caught it. Was against also Atlanta. Remember that game where he hit somebody in the back? There was another game where his helmet got ripped off, but I don't think that was against Atlanta.
Tim McKyer talked a lot. 1983 when the Falcons had a Hail Mary against the Niners and beat them down there in Atlanta. And then it happened again in 91, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. I'm looking at the video here, the OG red. By the way, these red jerseys are so hard.
Yeah, they are.
With the red helmets, they're so hard.
They are.
Steve Barkowski, I remember Outkast rocking the jerseys. Remember Outkast would rock the jerseys in music videos?
Who's your least favorite Falcon versus the Niners all time? Because I know exactly who I'm going with.
For me, I respected Jesse Tuggle. I did respect him.
I did not think we'd get a Jesse Tuggle pull.
Was it Terrence Mathis or wide receiver number 81? Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all.
That's it?
Dirty Bird, Jamal Anderson.
It's
I thought
Chris
he was
Chandler
a fraud.
For me. It's Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler was harmless.
Couldn't stand Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler was
Jerry
harmless.
Glanville as well.
Jerry Glanville was probably number 1.
I mean, the cowboy boots, the
he's
mullet.
probably number 1. Tim McKyer, though, talked a lot of smack when he became a Falcon.
He did.
A lot of smack.
And my all-time favorite pull, people always go, Bo Jackson, when we talk about two-sport athletes. People forget Brian Jordan.
St. Louis Cardinal and Atlanta Falcon. He was good with the Cardinals.
He was very good.
He was good. Let's go to Hap in Antioch. Hap, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up?
Lifelong Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcons fan, flying out today.
Oh, nice.
Go to this game. Oh, yeah, I'm super stoked. I go back when the Atlanta Falcons used to be in the NFC West with the 49ers. So it's a long time. And my favorite moment is the Hail Mary, with Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
1983.
1983, and he did his the little funky chicken touchdown dance.
That's right.
Did. Oh, it was classic. But I like
watching that highlight growing up.
Yeah.
I hated watching that highlight growing up. They would show that all the time when the Niners played the Falcons.
I liked him, though, as a player. He was fun.
Yeah.
He was with the Oilers as well.
Yeah.
He was a lot of fun.
No doubt.
He was a lot of fun. He was one of the innovators when it comes to touchdown celebrations.
Oh, man, we're talking Falcons and Niners, and there's nothing like a random text about Jimmy Garoppolo winning the Super Bowl or what the Niners could do, trade Trey Lance for Christian McCaffrey. It's nothing like that. We're already thinking down the line here. By the way, Jimmy is playing good football. And I think the offense is going to have to play like they did last week to win this game because we don't know about the whereabouts of Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, and the rest of this defense.
We're about the same age. I think I speak for everyone when I say this. The 2004 Atlanta Falcons in Madden might be the favorite team to play with of all time. And was that the Peerless Price team?
Peerless Price and Michael Vick.
And Algie Crumpler?
Yep.
And then did they have Warwick Dunn as well?
Warwick Dunn was playing running back.
That might be the most fun video game team of all time, outside of the Jailblazers on Dreamcast.
I always traded Michael Vick to the Niners. I couldn't play with the Falcons.
He was so much fun.
But he was so much fun. So much fun. His first ever game, guess where it was at? Candlestick Park.
Was it?
He was backing up Chris Chandler. Candlestick Park, first game of the
was that
season.
2000, 99? When was
Whenever
that?
Michael Vick was
2001?
drafted.
I'm trying to think.
Whenever he was drafted.
Wow.
He backed up Chris Chandler. And he played like a possession.
I didn't know that.
He played like a possession, no doubt. No
Learned
doubt.
something new today.
Yeah, no, that was their
You're
first
in your
ever
Falcon
game.
bag.
Oh, that old school NFC West, man. Old school NFC West. Fun time rivalry. Morning fan beat Atlanta. Bosa, a lot of people don't think Bosa's playing this week. Does that concern you if Bosa doesn't play this week?
Of course it does, because he's one of the best players in the NFL. No doubt about it. But I look at this team and I'm more worried about how they're going to try to, move the ball on offense, because I think the Falcons have a really solid, underrated defense, and it feels like they've been, playing tight games. And Mariota's movement absolutely scares me when it comes to this defensive line. I think they're going to have to blitz a little more than they're accustomed to.
You feel comfortable blitzing knowing that Mosley is out for the year?
No, of course I don't.
Yeah.
Of course I don't. There's no doubt about it. I'm a little worried.
And I get worried about the D-line depth in terms of this if they're on the field a long time.
Well, absolutely.
All of a sudden, your rotations and your substitution patterns become a little different. And how much juice will they have left in the fourth quarter?
We're kind of here now. It feels like it went from he's a game-time decision in terms of Javon Kinlaw to he might need another surgery and he's out for the year.
That would stink.
I mean,
that
happened so quick.
It's so fast. So fast. That would be a problem. That's right. Tyler Miller, great knowledge. Julio Jones baptizing Emmanuel Mosley back in 2019.
That was
at
the
Levi
game
Stadium.
that everybody said didn't matter when Richard Sherman didn't play.
I went crazy.
And I brought my whole family to that game, and we lost on a final touchdown by Julio Jones.
Unbelievable.
And he absolutely dominated us.
George Kittle didn't get the yard. Yes. They didn't go for it. They kicked the field goal.
No, George Kittle fumbled.
Yeah, that's what happened. Near the Falcons sideline.
For the first down,
on the sunny side of the field.
He gets that first down, game's over.
Yes, game's over.
And that was the game that Danny Freisinger, our assistant program director, and Steiny both said, this game doesn't mean anything.
Oh, I was on that show.
Falcons were plus 10.
I know.
Lock of the century.
Max, I remember doing the show that week. I was like, guys, I was like, dude, this is not a team you want to take lightly right now. You cannot take them lightly. Sherman didn't play in that game. They had a plethora of injuries.
K1 Williams was out. Yep. Ben Garland started at center. Grady Jarrett 8, bro.
Grady Jarrett 8. And Niners had a 21-play drive that game, by the way. Remember that?
Did they get a field goal?
No, they got a touchdown. They actually scored.
Juice check, I think, right?
Yes. They got 6.
The Falcons.
I remember Danny Fry apologized to me the next day. I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry. And then Steiny just looked at me like, yeah. I was like, see, you guys just... that's not even...
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Let me know if we got some of those old school highlights, Levin. Let me know. Oh, we got something?
Oh, I got him.
Oh, Taylor Mays.
No. I thought he was going to be special. And you all did too. So don't pretend like you didn't.
Dude, they practiced at City College of San Francisco. USC did. So I think they were playing in a bowl game.
And Darnell Bing, I was convinced were going to be great safeties.
Darnell Bing with the Raiders, and they moved him to linebacker.
Raiders, the Niners had him too.
Yeah, well, they tried to move him to linebacker. It didn't work out. Darnell Bing, who couldn't keep up with Vince Young in the Rose Bowl.
Don't start me.
Taylor Mays, his one highlight in the NFL.
Going up 7-0. Falcons ensuing drive, and they will punt out of their end zone. Dominique Ziegler blocks it, caught by Taylor Mays in the back of the end zone for a Niners touchdown. Taylor Mays makes an over-the-shoulder grab, both feet in bounds. That puts the Niners up 14-0.
14-0. They lost 16-14. 16-14. How about this one? You want to talk about the game where Singletary huddled everybody
16 up? 16-14.
16-14.
God.
How about Dre Bly?
Oh, this is the...
Second down and 9. Ryan over the top. It's intercepted. Intended for Roddy White. It's Dre Bly. He fumbles. Ryan tries to cover.
Now, we remember the speed we saw earlier in the game. It's a great play by Dre Bly, but what are you doing? Put the ball away. What are you celebrating for? You're going to get swallowed up in about 5 more yards.
He put his hand behind his helmet and had the ball out like he was holding a loaf of bread and at like the 30. And I'm talking like the opponent's 30 and was literally high stepping. And Roddy White was like, "Give me that!
Give me that!"
I can't believe that.
He had 70 yards to go and he started high stepping.
I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget. Singletary crazy.
Do you have the timeout play and then the very next? Because that was the same game. The timeout play and then the very next play is a Roddy White touchdown.
They don't have it yet.
Okay, when do we get it?
They're
Okay.
working on that. How about Deion Sanders?
Give it to me.
When he fought Andre Rison,
This is 2000,
at the pick six,
94.
and after the game, he just said, "The hell with it. Let me let you guys know how I feel about the Georgia Dome."
This is my house. I built this, and this is my house. I don't care if I'm with the Falcons or not. This is my house, and this will always be my house. Now let's continue.
Now let's continue.
He's so great.
He's so good.
Oh, God, I wish we had him for more than 1 year. He might be the greatest one and done in the history of sports.
That's a great call.
I mean, Melo is up there as a one and done for Syracuse.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying, in terms of one and done.
So, Deion Sanders, Kawhi Leonard's on my short list.
Yeah, that's a great
Toronto.
call. Didn't even think of him. But he wasn't Defensive Player of the Year.
No, he wasn't. But he was damn good. He was Finals MVP.
Absolutely.
He was Finals MVP.
And he beat the Warriors.
Yeah, he beat the Warriors at that. He was unbelievable in that series.
You know what? Kawhi is rising up that board.
Right.
You're right.
He's up that board. But Deion's right there.
Come on, man.
I can't think of another guy. I can't think of anybody else. One and done, greatest one and done seasons.
And left
That's
us
such
for
a good call.
Jock Peterson.
See, Jesus
Jesus
had to derail the show.
Just ruined.
Just keep going, Sasky.
Come on.
Just keep going. Stay focused.
I know. It's just
Stay-
the guy.
this
Jock.
guy.
Come
This
on.
guy. The guy.
Hey,
Literally.
Dion, you're not going to play on the right side of the field, and you're not going to play against right-handed quarterbacks today. That's the Jock Peterson.
Literally, the guy. The season was down the drain after he got slapped. Literally. We don't talk about that enough. They had cameras for that one. Oh man. All right. We're gonna. Carl Duke's coming up in moments.
You know, it's interesting because
Sam Lovin is one of them.
they have Kyle Pitts.
Are you going to resign Jock?
Who, the Giants?
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's not important. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's important in your world.
No, it's not.
I was thinking about this, and let me ask you this question. There was a lot of, I guess, people speculating that the Falcons were going to be in the quarterback market the year that the Niners took Trey Lance.
Yeah.
All right, and
That's interesting.
Had Trey Lance not been selected by the Niners, do you think that they would have taken him?
That's
'Cause
the
they were
word
the-
on the street.
They were 4,
They were 4,
and they took Kyle Pitts.
and they took Kyle Pitts.
A lot of people thought that the Niners should have taken Kyle Pitts.
That wouldn't have been bad.
I mean,
Well, you could look at it. You could look at it two ways. If you were like all in on Garoppolo, then why not take Kyle Pitts? I don't think they would have moved up in the draft to go take a tight end. I don't think they would have done that. They would have stayed at 12. But how about if they did do that and it took Kyle Pitts, and you have Pitts and Kittle at tight ends alongside Deebo Samuel and Brendan Ayuk.
Kittle and Pitts.
Kittle and Pitts.
Kittle and Bits and
Pitts
Bits
and
and
Kittle.
Bits and Bits and Bits.
Yeah, I mean, Morton Anderson was on the Falcons forever. Cam Newton, great one and done in Auburn. Great one and done in Auburn. That's great. Good knowledge. One and dones. Got a Chris Borland text on the Xfinity Mobile text line.
Borland was that dude, though.
One and done.
He was. I mean,
Remember that
Willis
New York
was out
Giants
that
game?
year. He was sick that
Remember that
year.
New York Giants game?
Oh, the run back?
He got like 20 tackles.
Bro, he was ridiculous.
I bought a Chris Borland jersey.
No, you didn't.
I swear to you. I was obsessed. And dude retires like 8 days after I got my jersey.
Number 50?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I have a friend via Twitter
Him and
whose
Derek
mom works with his mom. I have an autographed Chris
No, you
Borland
don't.
photo framed in my office.
Wow.
Fact.
Wow.
Big number 50. Yeah.
He was sick. Bulky was sticking to that pick like crazy. Look what I found in the middle rounds.
And then
He was sick, though.
And then he turned into Snitch Shasky by ratting everybody out in the NFL about concussions.
Well,
I mean, he's trying to protect people, but then he's like imploring people not to play.
he was a little dude.
Yeah.
He made plays, though.
He made plays.
Borland was sick.
He made plays. Oh, man. Carl Dukes may not be picking up.
That's okay.
May not be picking up.
I wanna
Favorite
keep-
moments.
yeah, I wanna keep going down this
Niners.
rabbit hole.
Falcons, Niners.
Pick of the stick's got to be there for a lot of people because the pick of the stick, let's go back in time and remember, obviously they're closing out one of the greatest stadiums in the history of the Bay Area.
Go ahead, play it, Lubin.
Pressure coming. Ryan gets rid of it for Douglas. It's fought for. And it's in the hands of Bowman, who's got all green grass. Navarro Bowman gonna take the Niners to the playoffs.
Now, if you remember correctly, if the Niners lose that game, I believe their playoff hopes were in jeopardy, and Matt Ryan is marching down and could win the game, beat the Niners at Candlestick in the closeout game at Candlestick, because they would have had the Drew Brees thing from a couple weeks before and not been a face mask. They would have had home field advantage.
Arizona would have had
Seattle.
Well, Arizona would have had control of their own destiny, I believe, and the Niners would have been on the outside looking in. And Atlanta got the onside kick that day. Right before that possession, they got the onside kick.
They scored and then hit the onside kick.
I remember being at that game, and I was freaking out. I was like,
where were you at?
I was, by the visiting tunnel.
Yeah?
Where you can't see past 30-yard line. I was there because I was a promo intern at another station, and I was there all day at Candlestick Park. I remember seeing Eddie DeBartolo, and I was like, we miss you, Eddie. I go, we miss you, Eddie. It's good to see you. He goes, it's good to see you, too. Like, straight up like a mob figure. Mob figure. Excuse me. Mob figure.
So all I was thinking,
take a playoff.
Yeah, I was thinking about that night, right? And like, honest to God, the closeout at Candlestick, it still hurts me. Like, I remember going to that game and tailgating. It was like going to a funeral or a memorial for someone that you love in your family. It was one of the saddest, yet also one of the great celebration nights that I can remember in sports. And for Navarro Bowman to end that historic stadium that way, it's one of the most incredible things of all time.
It was pretty incredible.
It was incredible. And then Boyz II Men coming out at the end.
It was great. Montana didn't come to that game.
Yeah, well, don't even start me with that. You know where I stand on that guy. You know where I stand on that. Love the player. One of the greatest players of all time. 49er ambassador? Nah, not so much.
Don't know about that.
And when you go back to Candlestick, what's crazy, I was thinking about, you talking about Eddie DeBartolo. You know, the Yorks have owned the team about the same amount of time as Eddie DeBartolo owned the team. Eddie DeBartolo owned the team from about 78 until about 98. They're in their 20th year. They started in like 99, 2000, depending on who you talk to. We're in 2022. The York family has owned the team longer than Eddie.
So, September 9th, 01. Focus, Shasky.
I am 100% focused.
01, September 9th. Niners, Falcons. 16-13, Michael Vick's first game. Michael Vick came off the bench for Chris Chandler. Played a couple series. Chris Chandler, 11 of 18, 121 yards, 2 sacks. Michael Vick, 0 for 4. Didn't complete a pass, 2 rushes, 32 yards. Focus, man, focus.
I am so focused.
Jeff Garcia, 26 of 40 that day.
Okay, we're here.
335 yards and a touchdown, and the Niners win in overtime, 16-13. Terrell Owens, 7 catches, 93 yards. How about J.J. Stokes? 5 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown.
All right, the Jeff Garcia years. We have forgotten how great Jeff Garcia was. Go back and watch the highlights from some of these games from back.
95.7 The Game breaking news. Presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today.
Yeah, big announcement here for the 95.7 The Game family. Congratulations to Joe and Jade Spadoni.
Oh.
Nora Diana Spadoni has arrived 8 pounds, 0 ounces, 21 inches. Mom and baby both doing well.
Let's go.
Congratulations to this
Let's go.
Let's go.
We love you guys. Jay, Joe, Benny, Nora. My grandma's name was Diana.
Oh, man. Congrats, Spadoni. Joe and Jade.
Thought it was going to be breaking news. You guys are off the air forever.
I didn't know what was going on. I started sweating. I ain't gonna lie. The boy over here was sweating.
Yeah.
We were counting down to the injury report.
We are going to do shameless shout-outs.
Shameless shout-outs coming up in 8 minutes. That's right. Shout out your high schools. What else you want to shout out, Shasky? Shout out your high schools.
I want to shout out Jeff Garcia.
Shout out Jeff Garcia.
I think we forgot how great his arm was.
Dude, shout out Niners, Falcons rivalry. Best blooper, Bonte versus Lucas. I don't know. Thanks, Carl, for everything. Carl Dukes. Listen. Do we
have the timeout? Sam, I sent you the timeout. I want to hear the Singletary timeout.
We don't have the timeout. We're off the rails here. We will get to Draymond in the 8 o'clock hour. Falcons-Niners rivalry. Shout out your high schools. I saw some Lincoln cats coming in saying put some respect on the Lincoln Mustangs. On the Stangs. We got to look up their record.
Shout out Phil Ferrigno.
Yeah, you know Phil?
Come on. Filthy Phil.
So, Phil, let me tell you a true story. Whenever I would cover Lincoln, the Lincoln coaching staff and Phil will be like, Bonte, can you go on the other sideline, please? Whenever you're on our sideline, taking stats because I like to be right next to the chain so I can see the down and distance and everything. Okay, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6.
Did you bring your index card?
No, I had legal pads.
No, I meant to mark the ball.
Geez, no, none of that. So whenever I would cover the Lincoln Mustangs, they'd be like, yo, Bonte, come on, man, you're covering the game today? They would lose.
Oh.
They called me Bad Luck Bonte.
Bad Luck Bonte? How have I never heard this?
Ask Phil about it. We're still good friends.
He's a legend.
He is a legend.
I think he's got most wins in the history of San Francisco.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he has some great teams. Balboa Buccaneers in the building. But Phil, they lost Turkey Day to Kyle Nelson. When we were at Kyle Nelson, Diamondbacks reliever, quarterback of Galileo, one of the most crazy games. Like, Lincoln had the time of possession. Galileo had the ball for like 8 minutes the entire game. And yet they won like 32-28 because they were just passing him. Zoom. Spread offense, spread coordinator. Like, who was the spread guy for Jimmy Ray? Matson was talking about
Mike
Jimmy
Johnson.
Ray getting fired. Mike Johnson. Brought the spread concepts to the 49ers.
Speaking of spread, what does it look like this weekend in terms of spread? Are the Niners favored? I don't know anything about gambling, so explain to me what it's looking like.
You need to watch action on Showtime. I sent it to you. You have all this time on your hands.
Yes.
Watch action so you can educate yourself
Okay.
on gambling. It really teaches novices like yourself on the world of gambling. The Niners are 5.5-point favorites in Atlanta. So they have to win by 6 or more.
Do you like that? Because this feels like a trap game. The Niners got Kansas City staring them in the face. I know they've been at the Greenbrier all week, and so they're focused on Atlanta. They got a lot of injuries. It's a trap. Atlanta's going to be at home. They played really good last week, the 49ers. I hope that they can be another well-oiled machine, spread the ball around to their playmakers. I'm a little worried, though. These 10 a.m. starts, where's their bodies going to be at, even though they've been there all week? Are they thinking about getting away, that final day before you come back home on a long trip? I don't know. I'm a little worried about spreading the ball around to all their playmakers. And then, obviously, I respect the Falcon defense. I think it's going to be a lot harder to run on this defense.
Baldy loves his team. Baldy loves his Falcons team. They play hard. They fly around the football. Kyle Pitts is going to be interesting. Drake London. Like, I don't remember too much of Drake London at USC, but watching him last week.
He broke his ankle.
Dude.
In college.
Yeah, but so I looked at him last week in Tampa. He made a one-headed catch on the sideline. I'm like, this dude is huge.
He's like 6'5", 6'6", and can run. Yeah, I liked him a lot coming out.
Huge. It's like a poor man's Megatron.
Yeah. Ooh, I know, but Megatron I hold in the highest regard.
Yeah, but he's like got that type of build.
No, it's a good point.
This guy is huge. So they got some players here. Mooney Ward's going to have to earn his money again. Look, I'm not going to be worried. I know you're always worried about the Niners. It's an East Coast game, 10 o'clock. I don't care if they stayed out there at the Greenbrier. This is one of those games where the Falcons are saying, this is a chance to knock off an NFC power in the 49ers. They're going to be up for this game, especially after what happened last week with the whole roughing the passer and Grady Jarrett. And that's another thing. Grady Jarrett, one of the best defensive tackles nobody knows about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He dominated the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
What's the matchup that you're looking at? Because I'm looking at this Hufanga, if Pitts plays, Pitts matchup, that's fun. And then I'm looking at, who is going to be the replacement right now for Mosley? Is it going to be Diamond or Lenore? Is that what it sounds like? I haven't seen a specific like-for-like replacement right now. Is it going to be Womack? Are they going to give him opportunities?
That's a great question. Who would you like to see outside? I think I like Lenore outside.
I have a feeling we're going to elevate Dante Johnson.
Oh, well, you might see that. You might see that, actually. It's not even funny. By the way, shameless shout-outs. 4 minutes. Shameless shout-outs. I'm already seeing something. Shout-out to the Pee Wee Clayton Valley Junior Eagles. Big game on Saturday versus San Leandro. A lot of big games happening to Pop Warner right now. Shout out your Pop Warner team. Shout out your high schools. Shout out your volleyball teams. Girls volleyball in full swing right now. It's go time. Girls volleyball. Shout out your girls volleyball team. So we'll do that coming up in about 3 minutes on the Morning Roast.
The pick at the stick, I do feel like that's one of those moments, Falcons-Niners, that people remember the most, don't you? Even more so than the NFC Championship game, which is wild to say. How many people remember Navarro Bowman batting it down? Now, had the Niners won the Super Bowl against Baltimore, maybe we look at it a little different.
So I remember their 4th down blitz in that game where they forced Matt Ryan to fumble.
Look at you.
Late third quarter. That's what I remember about that game. I remember Crabtree coming on the drag route and, of course, the fumble. But I also remember Michael James scoring the first touchdown in that football game.
LMJ.
I remember Julio Jones going up over Deshaun Golston and mossing him to make it 17-0. And I'm thinking, The Niners are about to get strapped. They're about to get blown out. Or what you say when you're playing video games? You're about to get blowed out. You know what I mean? Say with the team, you're about to get blowed out.
Throwing the controller.
Yes. I was there.
Pass the sticks.
I was there. And then I don't even remember the Bowman bat down. I do remember it. But the most memorable thing about that game was after the game. When Frank Gore ran up to Patrick Willis when he was getting interviewed by Fox, we're going to the Super Bowl, man. We're going to the Super Bowl. And then when they were presented the George Halas Trophy out there in the media room, going to the Super Bowl, Frank Gore and Denise DeBartolo. Denise is looking at Frank saying, this is for Mama. Talking about Frank Gore's mom. And he gave her a kiss on the cheek, and he was all teary.
Final
and stuff
game
like
at Candlestick, Frank Gore got the ball and gave it to Denise DeBartolo.
No joke. So, good memories there. So I don't, I'm old school when it comes to NFC West. I'm old school when it comes to the Falcons and the Niners. So I remember the Hail Mary. I remember Tim McKyer. I remember Deion Sanders. I still can't stand the Dirty Birds. That team to me is an all-time fraudulent Super Bowl team. All-time fraudulent. Now, I know what happened to Eugene Robinson the day before the Super Bowl. That team to me, though, was all-time fraudulent. They had think about how they got to the Super Bowl. Gary Anderson was perfect. All year long kicking field goals for the Minnesota Vikings. And he missed that kick at the end of regulation against Moss and Chris Carter and the Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, that Vikings team was so sick.
Randall Cunningham?
Was Rod Smith also on that team? Randall?
He was on the Broncos.
Was he on the Broncos?
Yeah, Rod Smith.
I'm talking about the running back.
Oh, Robert Smith.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Robert Smith.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the undrafted wide receiver. No, I'm talking about the running back for Minnesota that year.
All right.